Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for? I watch people get stuck and frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck and frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. Real Raw Open with Rob Gill, Infinity X and Epic. Loving Mr. Gill. Thank you, Carolyn, the center, for all the amazingness that you bring and all these fine folks. And thank each of you for being here today. We're immensely grateful. And it's like, hey, what is this? Yeah. So this is about, it's about probably 10 or 11 different things. But at its simplest, this is the unlocking of influence as a superpower. It's about experiential dynamics, which accelerate the creation of relationship. You know, when you have a shared experience with people and you're vulnerable at some level, incredible things happen. You know, you can go golf with people and keep score. Yeah, maybe have a couple of beers and a couple of drinks or go to a game. But I don't know if there's too many things that create more vulnerability than putting ourselves at stake in a public speaking environment, getting feedback and a score on our communication dynamics of going from hello to yes. So thank you for your courage and vulnerability. But the unlocking of that dynamic and the engaging in it also permits each and every one of us to land as congruently unique, like congruently unique, so people see their future in us. And that is where the superpower of influence is at its greatest. Yeah. So Carolyn, I don't know if we have Rob yet.
Yes, we've got him on.
I'm here.
Rob Gill, how are you, brother?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes, momentum is in the house, Joe Hagan. Neil Keegan. Yes, momentum. Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sean, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Did you eat today, Rob?
Are you with me?
Yes. Do you have a cell phone, sir?
No, that was a no question.
All right. So how you doing, Rob? Love you, brother. And thank you so much for Infinity X last night. It was truly incredible. And let's drop in with these amazing people and start the introductions. And again, if we could, for time integrity, because we really want to spend time in the space of hearing about your amazingness and the role play dynamics. It's like Rob says, hey, who you are, and it's name, where you're from. Like, you know, for example, it might be Rob Gill. It's like, hey, Rob Gill, originally from Bayonne, New Jersey, now hailing from Red Bank. What I'm up to in the world is saving people's financial lives and doing financial CPR, because I was raised and grew up in an environment where money was a source of amazing trauma, stress, and insanity. And my fun fact is, every time Sean Callaghan wants me to go in the ocean, I make sure I Irish exit before the big moment. Boom. That might be Rob Gill.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes. So I'm going to introduce everybody. Chris Malio, why don't you tell everybody who you are, brother?
Myself off mute. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hello. Chris Maleo, currently living in Princeton, New Jersey, originally from Manasquan, New Jersey. Hello to all my Jersey people out there. Currently working in the commodities world, gold and silver specifically. Went to Northwestern University, Kellogg School of Business. Firmly believe in precious metals and as an asset class and what it can do as a preservation of wealth, and to be able to assist you with purchasing power. So
awesome, brother. And a quick fun fact about you, Chris.
I played football in college, went on a football scholarship, and I had a tryout with the New York Giants.
Boom, brother. What position?
Nice. I started as a quarterback, played a little bit of linebacker, defense, but I had a tryout as a quarterback with the Giants.
No way, dude. Like NFL quarterback tryout, Rob Gill. That's some big time stuff. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Wall High School.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, welcome. And thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Rob.
Achieved tremendous success on the high school level from an all-state standpoint, just so you know, Sean.
Wow.
Next up, we have Neil Keegan. This will be the third or fourth time, Sean, that you've crossed paths with each other. Go ahead, Neil.
The mighty Neil Keegan.
Thank you very much. What a warm introduction. Neil Keegan, hailing currently from Washington, D.C., and originally from the Washington, D.C. area. I've been around the world and back with the U.S. Navy and Goldman Sachs and running a family office. So now I'm back in home waters, running my own investment firm. I'm passionate about doing amazing investments that also provide for the defense and security of our great country. That's what I'm passionate about. And fun fact, while I was a midshipman at the Naval Academy, I went to airborne school and jumped out of a perfectly good airplane for no reason at all. Because I
Super
thought it was fun.
fact, and thank you for your service, sir.
You got it.
Thank you. Rob Gill.
Yeah, we have my new friend, Siobhan Oliver. How do I pronounce it?
Olivero.
Oliviero, yes.
Olivero. That's all right.
Olivero.
You got the first name right, which is the hardest one usually. So that's
Siobhan,
all right.
Siobhan, Rob Gill and articulation are best friends.
Yes,
So,
yes, exactly. I'll make words up too.
That's all right. That's all right. So, hey, everybody, I am Siobhan Olivero. I am from a little small town just outside of Tampa, Florida, originally called Plant City, still in Plant City, that little small town right outside of Florida, born and raised here. I am an attorney. I do high-level criminal defense. I also do divorce, family law, custody cases. I'm a certified divorce coach. I'm also getting certified in Jack Canfield Success Principles and a master's certification insight coach to be able to help people do amazing things with their life. And a fun fact about me is, well, Neil, I've jumped out of 2 perfectly good airplanes twice without being in service, but I'm also an advanced underwater scuba diver.
Cool.
oh, Siobhan, favorite site where you've been scuba diving?
Where, but favorite site? So far, Grand Cayman.
Boom.
Sean Callahan.
Rocking Grand Cayman. And do you recall like where you were on Grand Cayman and love diving specifically? Because I know like all the sites there are like crazy, love it there. Any memory of like where you were?
I don't remember the name of the specific reef. I'd have to go back to my dive log to see, but it was beautiful and full of lionfish, and it was a great sight to see. So.
Well, please hit us with that if you wouldn't mind looking up the dive book. I'd love to know.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Siobhan. Thank you. Rob,
Yes.
Siobhan just did an amazing Real Raw Open of her own. It was your first one hosting, right, Siobhan?
Yes, it was my first one hosting.
And how'd you feel about it?
I felt good, and I've had a ton of amazing feedback already from everybody who was on it. So.
But Rob, I dropped into some feedback, and it was like, you know, there was some like knowingness and uncertainty and all kinds of like, you know, tense moments. I could feel Siobhan like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Please, Siobhan, don't do anything crazy. Was I hearing you correctly, Siobhan?
No, not really on that, but no, it was amazing. I know there were some people that were very nervous on today's Real Raw, and you did great. I think at alleviating that from them, and they've already come back with.
We started going 5 wide, Rob. So back to you.
Yeah, you know, I've been one of those victims of knowingness, just so you know. But I'm glad to hear that it was good. Next up, we have Greg. He's becoming a fast friend on all the different things that we're doing. Greg R. comes from the world like Neil of the First Lady of Wall Street, Carolyn DeSena.
Ooh, I like I'm sorry.
So my name is Greg Rosoff, originally from this small little city called Manhattan, you might have heard of. Currently living in Mahwah, New Jersey. Started my Wall Street career straight out of college in July of 1988. Traded on the floor of the American Stock Exchange, equity options. Traded until on the floor until January of 2002, then went to a small little hedge fund, traded there until 2010. And after high-speed algorithmic trading made traders obsolete, I reinvented myself, became a investment advisor, and did that for a few years. And my biggest client is this digital agency that I'm currently at. They asked me if I would be interested in becoming their CFO. And since their office is a mile from my house, I gladly accepted. And so I kind of switched careers again and went from a financial advisor to a CFO, where I'm currently working here more or less full-time, but I also do some consulting work for companies that desperately need to get their financial house in order. So I do some consulting work there, and I also sell investment ideas for the hedge fund that I used to work at. They're now called Grand Avenue Investments. So that's basically my story. Fun fact, so basically everything that you've heard about me is all left brain. And so I'm very analytical. I'm very quick with numbers. I've always been about numbers. But on the right side of my brain, both my parents are classical musicians, and I have perfect pitch. So I can probably belt out Roxanne better than you would ever expect.
Let's hear it, Greg. Drop us some. So, Greg, where'd you grow up, brother?
Basically from Manhattan to northern New Jersey, Englewood, New Jersey, Leone, New Jersey, where I graduated high school.
You're a Leone Lion.
Yes.
Very nice. Very, very cool. Well, welcome. I was in Emerson Cavo, and we used to play Leonia back in the day.
Very nice.
So welcome.
Sean,
Thank
it
you.
sounds like to me that Carolyn used to get his lunch. That's what I'm deducing from all this back.
No.
The first lady of Wall Street, Rob Gill, you're disrespecting on the Real Raw. She's going to take, an axe to your head. Yeah.
Carolyn, I wouldn't be taking that.
I'll pay for that later.
He used to trade in my crowd, and he'd have to give me gifts. So,
But Carolyn, isn't it true that Rob Gill just gets your lunch now? Isn't that how it works, Carolyn?
Absolutely. Yes.
not at all. I am at service to Rob.
No, I'll get lunch with Carolyn every single day, all day, twice on Sunday. I love being a foot soldier.
All right. I want a fun fact from Carolyn, because I have my favorite Carolyn fun fact.
Fun fact, I stopped auditioning. I wanted to be an actress when I was in high school and in college, and I stopped auditioning and stopped wanting to be an actress. And my last audition was for Rico Suave.
Boom, Carolyn.
Yes.
Yes, amazing, Carolyn. So thank you.
Suave.
And
Thank
Carolyn
you.
is also part of the Rumson Mafia, but another conversation for a different day. So Rob Gill.
Yeah, so Sean, the LinkedIn world has brought some new faces to my world. And the next gentleman is Ezra Abramson, who has become a fast friend. And I love what he brings to the table. So go ahead, Ezra.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ezra Abramson. I was formerly known as E. Abramson before I was notified on how to fix my title over here. Thank you. And I'm a life settlement specialist. I work at Genesis. It's a life settlement brokerage firm. And what we do is we specialize in helping our senior-aged clients monetize their life policies as an alternative, only though, as an alternative to lapsing or surrendering them back to the insurance carriers. Interesting how I got there, because I originally am from Memphis, where my father was finishing up his PhD, his dissertation. We then moved out here to St. Louis, where I currently reside. And I lived in Brooklyn, New York for about 8 years, where I actually attended a school called MYRCB, it's a liberal college. I received my education in biblical theology and Talmudic law. And I continued to grow my education. Actually, I moved out to Lakewood, New Jersey. And fun fact about me is that I actually started sales by cutting my teeth at a mall kiosk, where I would stop people who are walking by and I would curl their hair, and I can actually curl an entire head of hair in 5 minutes. And another fun fact, I also was a counter manager for Estee Lauder, so I can do a full face of makeup. And I'll tell you that every single time they had an event or a promotion, I used to love building out the events and creating the themes. And just through everything that I did, I understood that there was something more out there for me. I had more talent, I had more ability. And I decided that I wanted to get involved in educating people on something that I believe is valuable, which is insurance. It's an asset class as well. And I'm here to see what I can do.
Yeah. Love Ezra already. Guys, like putting makeup on in minutes, curling hair, Rob, he fits in perfectly. Who's next?
Sorry. Next up, we have Amy Neff. What's up, Amy? How are you?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hello, Amy, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
All right, Amy. So yeah,
Tell us who you are, Amy. Tell us who you are and what you're bringing to the table.
Okay, great. So I am here through Carolyn. I live in Rumson, New Jersey. I'm an independent insurance broker. So I got involved in this about 2 years ago after being a teacher for 10 years. And then I also got a master's degree from Monmouth University in psychological counseling. After doing all this education and having a lot of life experience with that, I realized that I really love sales. So like I said, 2 years ago, I got my license and I'm an independent agent right now. And I'm really building a big book of business. I'm really excited. I'm loving this. And I'm looking for ways to optimize my business, connect with people, build my network. It's really going well so far. And I have 3 small children at home, so it's not easy, but I'm working my tail off. And yeah, I live in Rumson. I'm close by some of you guys. And I don't really know what to say about a fun fact because there's so many things I could say. I'm kind of a ball of fun. You can ask Carolyn. But I will tell you that I played 2 college sports and I'm a little bit crazy on the athletic field. I get real physical and I'm the boys lacrosse coach in town. So there you go.
Oh my God, Amy dropping it. Awesome job, Amy. What's
Yeah.
your sport you play in college? I presume lacrosse?
I
Yes?
played I played field hockey and lacrosse at TCNJ, formerly known as Trenton State.
Boom.
Woo!
20 elbows, and she going to this Trenton State Penitentiary, and opening it up in the yard, making things happen. Rob Gill, back to you.
All right, so we have once again, another LinkedIn friend that's been coming to my world, and there's a lot of them coming, Sean. The next gentleman is Joshua S. Joshua, tell us who you are, brother. Unmute.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Hey, Joshua.
Hey, so my name is Joshua Stagner. I'm from Virginia. Harrisonburg, Virginia is what I like to say, but really I'm from Mount Solon, Virginia. Harrisonburg's usually that area that everybody knows, like around JMU. I'm a newly licensed insurance agent, and I'm new to the world of finance. So really, I'm just trying to learn as much as what I can. I believe that, financial literacy is really important for people, and I really want to be able to bring that to my community. So, I'm new to it. So I'm really looking forward to be able to learn as much as what I can. A fun fact about me is that I released an album this year, and I have a music video on YouTube that has about 2,000 views. I know it's not that many, but I'm getting ready to gear up for my next album. So,
Josh,
yeah.
what style of music, brother?
It's actually rap, believe it or not.
Yes!
Rob,
Yes!
Oh my God, did Josh
Yes!
to do this? You have to do this. So, and please don't ask Rob Gill to rap. So, Josh, welcome, Rob Gill. Who else we got?
Okay, we have America's accountant, but then there's Big Sugar's accountant, AKA Anthony Murielli. Go ahead, take over.
Anthony, what's up, brother?
Hello, Sean. How are you? Long time, man.
Long time.
So, my name is Anthony Moriello. I reside in Spirit. You'll notice behind Rob, if you look close, there's a big cardboard cutout of my head right on that safe. I've got another one here behind me, if you notice. So, certainly not shy. There it is. Thank you, Rob. So in Spirit, I like to always kind of overlook Rob and be the Jiminy Cricket on his shoulder. But I'm from Farmingdale, New Jersey, originally from Staten Island. And I am an enrolled agent. I'm licensed by the Internal Revenue Service. I save people money. I save people time. I get people out of some kind of predicaments and jams that they may be in with the federal and or state agencies. And I've been doing that for a good solid 23 to 25 years. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go. Fun fact, man.
Thank you much, man. Yeah. So fun fact about me is before this career, I was a paper boy, and I was a paper boy for many of the mob wives. You've maybe seen the mob wives. I was the paper boy for some of the older generations there, some of the Yankee ball players, and I tell you, both of those relationships got me into some interesting situations and got to meet a lot of people that way. And I did that from the age 12 to 23. So I like to think that I pick a career, I dedicate myself to it, and I stick with it for some longevity.
Yeah. I think the Henry Hill character, is this true, Anthony, in Goodfellas was actually based on you and not the real Henry Hill? Is that correct or not?
That is maybe a stretch, Sean. I think that any kind of statute is probably up. So I want to say I can neither confirm nor deny that. But funny story, when I had such a pitch, man, I've been doing papers forever. So I could hook that newspaper and get it on. If you had a Solo cup on the front porch, I could spin that thing and land it right on the Solo cup. So one day, I guess I had my headphones on and I was distracted by my Sony Walkman at the time. And I fling it over to one of the houses of said people. And I didn't realize that there must have been a meeting going on at the front step. And so literally over somebody's shoulder whizzes in a perfect boomerang style, the Staten Island Advance. And man, if I didn't turn as white as a sheet of paper then, there was obviously some relief when they realized it was just the paper boy and his paper. But I think from that day forward, I learned to place his newspaper on the front porch rather than wing it up to him.
And beautiful job, sir. Love your energy and your heart as always. Rob Gill, are we complete or do we have more?
Got a couple more. I do have a surprise, but I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
We have Jordan Edwards. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, what's going on, Rob? How are you doing?
Good, how are
Excited
you?
to be here.
Yep.
Good, good. Yeah, so I have Edwards Consulting, which is my firm where we help people with personal development, pretty much fix your financials. And then we also do personal development. And we really want to make an impact in people's lives and really let them grab control of their life and make it the change that they're looking to make.
Beautiful.
And a fun fact is that I'm currently traveling around the U.S. I was just in Denver for a month, and now I'm in Salt Lake City for 3 weeks, looking to go to Nashville next. And I'm originally from Ridgewood, New Jersey.
No, Ridgewood Maroon in the house. So
Yeah.
that's awesome, brother.
Well, Jordan, you know what they say, Jordan, a romance without a finance is a nuisance. Next up, we have Joe Hagan, the mighty Joe Hagan. And I'll tell you my fun fact when it's time, but it'll be about Joe Hagan. Go ahead, Joe.
Mighty Joe.
Hey, everybody. Great to be here. I guess you could say it all started in the Boogie Down Bronx, where I'm from. I'm in the nice horse, pastures of Colts Neck, New Jersey, where the boss has 500 acres with a bunch of horses nearby. And along the way, I was a retail broker on Wall Street for about 25 years. Had a lot of fun, did real well. In the last 10 years, I do a lot of alternative investments from the proximity of people that I met on Wall Street that typically people wouldn't have access to. I provide that opportunity, that access, and I have totally gotten more involved in the world of coaching. Besides sports, I played football in college too. I never tried out with the Giants, but had a lot of fun at Marist College, starting for 4 years, and take a lot of that experience coaching my kids and other kids in sports and in business, guys like Rob Gill, and now in the world of Sean Callaghan, loving every minute of it, and just waiting for the next adventure because life is just beginning.
Awesome job, brother.
Thank you.
So, with COVID, new things are developed, and wait till you hear the call center that was developed by our next gentleman, and you'll never guess. The mighty Dr. Mark Cadden. Go ahead, Doc.
No way. Boom.
Hey, Sean. It's like,
Mark, how are you, brother?
I miss you. I
miss you too. Where you been hiding?
I'm here. He's been hiding me in a room over here. But this is great. My name is Mark Cadden. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, as you can tell from my accent. For 25 years, I was a chiropractor in Brooklyn. And when I sold my practice, I started actually a marketing and consulting company, which I've had for the last 15 years with a partner. And what we've been doing is we've been when COVID hit, I was trying to figure out how can I go about going into offices, going into doctors' offices, introducing attorneys to doctors, having meetings, having dinners. So we decided that the best way to do this is through the internet. So I brought in another partner who was a genius with search engine optimization, with websites. And what we did was we started a call center and along with our website. Now, what we have is that now patients look for me on the call center and they call up my 800 number. And now what I'm doing is placing them with attorneys, placing them with doctors. And it's only been the last month that we started in New Jersey. We started in New York about 6 months ago, and we're getting approximately 2,000 calls a day from that call center. Now in New Jersey, it's only been a month, but we're starting to build up, and it's great. And one of my fun facts is that I introduced Sean to Rob. And if it wasn't for me, these two wouldn't be, I think, brother and brother.
Brother and sister.
Love you, Mark Cadden. And brother, I'm so proud of you, and that is absolutely outstanding. And let's make some stuff happen, brother. Awesome job.
That's great.
And I don't know how I know this, Sean, but Mark told me that he has 3 patient calls in the morning while he's in his underwear, just so you know. Last, but certainly not least, we do have the First Lady of Wall Street, the driver, game changer, the difference maker, the exclamation mark, the goddess energy with Zeus bullets coming off the rooftop, Carolyn DeSena.
Rob, I don't know how to follow something like that, but thank you. I am loving working with Rob and Sean and hanging out with all you great people. I've been meeting so many people, making connections, and actually, getting a lot of benefit and learning so much from all of you. So this has really been a great experience for me. But a little bit about myself, you already know I wanted to be an actress, but I immediately at 21 became an assistant trader on the American Stock Exchange. I became a specialist, and then I went into sales, worked with a lot of the institutions, broker-dealers, hedge funds, went to London when I was 27, helped open up a firm, came back, continued to do sales, retired, and then I set up a charitable foundation called Women's Education Forum, and that is my primary focus now. And I'm currently working for a company called VPO, which is a digital marketing firm, and we're heavy into the NFL, Christopher. So here we are already, merging ecosystems, and there'll be a lot for us to potentially connect on, maybe in the future. So thank
Awesome
you.
job, Carolyn. Awesome.
That's it, Sean. We're good. We're ready to go.
So Rob, why are you doing this? Let's just drop in real quick. Why are you doing this, and what's the story?
For me, I just want to share with everyone on here, because I really, in case anybody doesn't know, the impact that Unblinded has had for me and then for Epic. We went from 8 to 175 new sales meetings a month. I was always looking for something and someone that could be something that I could hang on to and be an example of how to really grow with integrity. And that's how I met Sean. And the reason why I was doing all that is because I grew up middle class in Bayonne. Dad worked 3 jobs. There was struggles in our house financially. There was, my sister was at a very young age addicted to heroin. My dad was an alcoholic. May he rest in peace. He did die sober. And I often say that I was raised by a pack of wolves, because there was love, but there was dysfunctional insanity going on as well. And I always remember having no say in the fact that everything was so financially crazy that would never happen to me. So I'm sure there's a lot of people in the world out there that could use financial education and be able to understand that, an abundance educated mindset is much different than a scarce, beg for forgiveness mindset. And that's really kind of what put me to when I first started working on Wall Street, figuring everything out, and eventually getting to where you and I connected and became brothers.
Yeah, no, love Rob, my best friend. We have many fun times and adventures together. And I think Rob is a classic example of a pattern of so many people. And I was a pattern of the same thing, which is not realizing how close massive acceleration is in our life. So my name is Sean Callaghan. I'm the co-founder of Unblinded. This is the 225th episode of The Real Raw. Thank you guys for being on it. And could be 224 or 225. We're getting final count, but we'll go with 225. And I was Columbia University undergrad. I had fun facts. I'm going to drop a couple quick fun facts. I had a tryout with the New York Mets. I was a 4-year starter at Columbia, captain of the team in 1992, and I have hereditary eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, which cost me getting drafted. I was the fastest player, Rob Gill, at that Met tryout, by the way, invited Met tryout. And yeah, so I'm blind and I can't see anything. Another fun fact is I taught a blind guy to surf a couple weeks ago. Another fun fact is I jumped out of an airplane for the first time 2 weeks before that. And I'm one of only 2 attorneys in America to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one who was blind. And all that is through the superpower of influence. I own a 125-person law firm, offices in 5 states, and again, co-founder of Unblinded, where we're impacting the world with influence and what to do with it to free up people's money, time, and magic. Thank you for that. Here we go. Gamification, fun. This is like American Idol meets Shark Tank meets like March Madness. So Rob, who's going to go first today?
Chris Malio.
All right, Chris, and your role player, right, Rob?
Yep.
Okay, Chris, Rob will be anybody you want. You got 3 minutes to go from hello to yes. It's not Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room, right? This is heart-centered, integrous influence, or whatever influence you want it to be. We'll see how Wolf of Wall Street energy meets like heart-centered, integrous influence and all those dynamics, right? And whoever you want Rob to be, that will be a yes that's meaningful to you in the world, but it's not a race to a sale. So the 3 minutes could be just a longer meeting. It could be a conversation about a book deal. Maybe it's a movie project, strategic partnership, whatever you want. It could be an ideal client or any avatar. So Chris, who would you like Rob to be?
I would like Rob to be a potential client of mine.
Cool. And what demographic? What's his, business, financial situation?
He is a potential 7-figure client of mine.
Cool. So 7-figure earner, 7-figure in liquid assets.
7-figure in liquid assets.
Cool. All right. 7-figure liquid assets business owner. Yes, Chris?
Yes, correct.
All right. Rob, drop in, brother.
Hello.
Hey, Rob. How are you? This is Chris.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Nothing much. How are you? How's your week going?
It's good. Time out. Do we know each other before this call, or is this a straight up call?
I was assuming we did because I was going off of your lead, but
yeah, it was nice meeting you, Chris. How you doing?
It was great meeting you too. How are your wife and kids doing?
They're good. You know, kids at home some days, not other days. It depends on what school passes the COVID test or not.
Absolutely. I listen, I get that, man. I can totally relate. Life's changing for a lot of people right now, but I wanted to just kind of follow up and touch base with you a little bit about what we talked about, some of the things we talked about with wealth preservation and where your mind's at. I wanted to just follow up with, more importantly, with something that you said that resonated with me, is that making sure that you were able to protect your wealth for your kids long term. So I wanted to follow up and just say, like, what are you thinking? What are the things that are most important to you, Rob, as you kind of transition in your business, that you can then transfer to your kids one day and potentially? I'm screwing this up, man. I'm sorry.
You're doing great.
Sorry.
Stay in it. You're doing great. Don't
all right. So what are some things that are important to you?
You know, first of all, that's a great question. And, you know, the challenge that I kind of think about when it comes to my children, because I don't know if you remember, but I told you that I grew up middle class. My dad worked 3 jobs. There was no really understanding of money or education. And my kids, you know, they have like basketball trainers that come in and train them for 2 hours. You know, I used to have to go play basketball by myself in the schoolyard. So I can't say to them, hey, I used to go to the schoolyard. You got a basketball trainer, because they don't really understand what the difference is. They just know they got a basketball trainer, right? So when you think about that monetarily, what does it look like for them to kind of create their own way in life and make their own money, not just rely on me and mommy giving them money later on through, you know, proper planning, staggering distributions? How do I teach them the edge that I had to have growing up? Now, they are getting educated more than I did, but I can tell you, like, education is important. I know it is, but for some people it might not be. You know what I mean? I know educated fools, right?
Absolutely.
I've met a lot of educated fools, but I also know educated folks that have done extremely well. So there's a balance there in trying to figure out how to pass on wealth without, you know, creating a disability for my kids.
Absolutely. No, I completely understand and can relate to that. I think one of the things that I guess a bigger question that I'd have in this case, though, is, you know, how are you protecting your wealth? Like, let's talk about what's going on in the world right now. We've got quantitative easing. We've got potential inflation that's happening.
Yep.
What are the things that you're doing? Because you worked hard for that money, Rob. You've started a business. You've put blood, sweat, and tears in that. You've sacrificed time away from your family. So what are some things that you're doing to protect that money, not even just potentially transfer it to your kids one day?
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things I think about is I understand the bifurcation of inflation and what that's going to look like. I understand proper diversification in a portfolio strategy. So being able to diversify in a portfolio, but also create my own financing opportunities, my own guarantee rates of return that combine with whatever is in the marketplace, and kind of create structures in that manner in a tax efficient way. That's kind of where my head's at right now. So I think we're done, right, Sean?
Yeah, Chris, you could go one final question, just to bring it home.
Yeah. So Rob, you know, if you have time, I would love to, you know, sit down one-on-one and kind of talk with you a little bit more about this, you know, things that I think we can do to help you and assist you to kind of advance and move things to the next level for you.
I would love to sit down.
Awesome. Excellent. Chris, how'd that feel for you?
It was interesting. I mean, honestly, like, it would be a lot easier for me to talk to an actual client than to do what I just did. So, you know, I mean, it's an interesting time because you feel everybody watching you. So there's this like vulnerability, I think, in this space right now. You know, it's, you know, you can fumble and stumble because you're thinking about a lot of different factors. While I wasn't just focusing on Rob in this instance.
So Chris, if I could give this to you, and Rob, you know, we're going to go with this, I think, is awesome job, brother. Remember that this is a speaking opportunity in front of all these fine folks. And so what you do in those 3 minutes, they're forming an impression in nanoseconds about whether they want to work with you and see their future in you or not. And we have those opportunities. And, you know, when I was in 8th grade and ran for president and came in like last and got no votes because I didn't deliver, I had 3 minutes to deliver and it wasn't there. A year and a half ago in a room sort of like this, doing something just like this with somebody that spoke on Tony Robbins' stage, I won the entire thing. And I ended up speaking on stage there 7 out of the last 8 events, which completely shifted the trajectory of the impact I'm having. It was remarkable in 3 minutes. So that's all. You did a great job. But just remember, you're here to show your greatness. And brother, you got greatness, clearly. So just in your heart, grab that stage and microphone heart-centeredly and take your place and let your amazingness shine. Rob, thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I thought he did a great job, voice tonality. I thought his speed was great. He's very comfortable talking about money and people. I didn't get the impression there was any kind of fear from that perspective. I think that when I met Chris, just so you know, Sean, out in Utah at Chris Crone's event, and Chris Malio, one of the things that we talk about all the time is how to build rapport first, and building rapport with proper questions. I think you already have the skill set. It's just understanding the offense or
Rob, real quick, I hate to interrupt. Can you share what happened to change your life on a stage in Los Angeles? Right, a lot of things that change your life, but the trajectory shift that happened because you jumped up on a stage in Los Angeles in a short window, and that created a partnership with Chris Crone.
Yeah, so out in LA last March, Sean invited me to get up on stage, and I knew about it for about 24 hours, and I was real nervous. And there was like a lot of entrepreneurs out in the audience, real successful people. And it was just one of those times where I had spent about a year with Sean up until that point. So I was ready for that, let's call it 3-minute amateur, I'm going to use the word fight, even though that might not be the right vocab, but I was geared up for that 3 minutes, but I was up there for about 30 minutes. And it really kind of set me off after that. It was shortly after that I formed my partnership, Chris, with Chris Crone, that I was on Chris's stage a month after that for the first time. You had seen me for my 5th time on Chris's stage, but the thing that Sean's talking about led me to my first appearance on Chris's stage.
And so we're not confused. The byproduct of being on Chris's stage was 131 appointments. 131 appointments. Yes, brother?
Yes, 100%.
And that's what we're talking about, like influence and what to do with it. So Rob, judges are, I'm assuming Joe Hagan, and I'm assuming Siobhan. Are those the 2 or anybody else?
And Jordan's the 3rd.
Awesome. So let's drop in. Siobhan, what do you have for Chris? 30 seconds of feedback, please.
All right, Chris, I thought that you did a great job. Great starting with the rapport, asking him questions about his kids and what it was all about and protecting his kids long term and that being most important to him. I hear a lot of people say it's hard sometimes to get into that heart conversation in only 3 minutes, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the research shows that people actually connect to us in that first 3 to 5 minutes of a conversation. So getting right into that heart of it is important to get there very quickly. But I thought you did a great job overall, and I'd give you an 8.5.
Beautiful job, Siobhan. Mighty Joe Hagan, sir.
Yeah, I thought that Chris likewise did a really good job building rapport. I would say that he was confident in his vulnerability when he thought he was screwing up. He wasn't screwing up near as much as he thought he was. And speaking to a quarterback, when things start happening to you, what do you do in the pocket? You start extending the play. I would think about, even if you got to create something to throw the ball out of bounds, I would create something like your background of silver. Listen, I love silver, but as you can tell, I'm not born with a silver tongue. So, and then tell them what you're trying to say and just keep moving the chains. And I thought everything else was great, except for the fact that when Rob really opened up about himself, it was a really good opportunity for him to talk about his heroic, unique identity, and then bring it home to an appointment to sit down instead of continuing to go about, the conversation he was talking about protecting wealth would have probably been better served at the sit down. And right there, he could have told him, like, this is what I do for my clients. This is what makes me special. What I'd love to do is sit down over a cup of coffee and lay that out for you. Those 2 distinctions only, I would also give him an 8.5, but otherwise I thought he did a lot better than he thought.
Great job. Chris, great job, brother. Super impressed with your background and your being here. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Rob. Yeah, thank you. Rob, who's next, sir?
Greg R.
Greg. Who do you want Rob Gill to be, sir?
You're on mute.
There we go.
Hey,
So I've actually struggled with this on how I would go about this and, where I would want Rob to be for me. I'm going to go this route. Just not to make it too complicated and not to embark on an area where I think most people are going to go. I'm going to go a different route. So I'm going to go the route of being a interim CFO for him. So I need him to be CEO or a partner of a company that is having financial troubles, that is looking for someone to help them right their ship.
Awesome. And you're already in there as a CFO, and this is a meeting about what to do, Greg?
So they're looking for someone to help them right the ship. So they're looking to hire an interim CFO.
Oh, I got
someone.
Okay, you're in an interview.
Correct.
Awesome. Great job, brother. Okay. Rob, interviewing Greg for CFO. Troubled Waters, owner or CEO. Take us in, please.
Is this Greg, is this cold, or did you set up the appointment?
So I set up the appointment.
Okay.
So I generally don't, solicit cold people on, So, okay. So, hey, Rob, how you doing? My name is Greg Rosoff. I do interim CFO work for companies that need help. I understand that you're looking to possibly retain my services. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your company and what you're looking to achieve here?
Yeah, well, thank you for reaching out, and I'll thank Carolyn for introducing us. For us, I think that we had originally began to have massive growth opportunities, and somewhere along the way, I kind of felt like we lost the edge that got us to where we were, right? And maybe a little bit of an erosionary factor on who we brought on, and sometimes people would come in late or miss a meeting, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, 12 months, 18 months later, financially, we're not doing the way we were the last 2 or 3 years.
So what do you think was your special sauce, or what made you special up until the point where you started having financial struggles? What made you what you were until that point?
I always go back to whenever I'm in a consistent work ethic, consistent team environment, no excuse, building, supporting, edifying each other. There's always acceleration. And then if there's a financial success tied to that, sometimes there's that, take your foot off the pedal a little bit and maybe not work as hard and try and mask it in working smarter, or, reading a book, not to say that this isn't good or bad, but the 40-hour, the 1-hour work week, or all these other things that take place. And maybe, becoming too close to the people that work with me, where I can't be somebody that draws the line in the sand and really could, even if I have to fire somebody, feel emotionally attached and not do it.
So it sounds like to me that you're thinking that maybe your expenses are too high as opposed to your revenues haven't quite grown the way you would want them to. Is that accurate? Or do you think maybe you haven't grown your revenues the way you think you should?
I don't think we've grown our revenues the way we should, because the past indicates that we know how to grow revenues when we're I dotting and T crossing, and we just haven't been doing that as a team.
So basically you need to sit down with someone and create a business plan that would show how you intend to grow your revenues and how you intend to grow your business from there. And in addition, you want to, of course, keep your expenses in check and, look at the best way to do that. And then, basically look at your cash flows and make sure that you're, doing what you can to grow your business correctly without, taking too much pressure off the gas.
But I think that person has to be an accountability driver and hold everybody accountable on some high level ways.
Well, one of the things that I do is I make sure that people are being held accountable, and especially if you're close with your employees and they're targeted as your friends, you don't want to have to basically look them in the eye and have the hard discussion with them sometimes. And that's where I come in, where I'm willing to have the hard discussion, because I'm not their friend. I'm there to help you and make sure that your company's running correctly and doing what you need to do. And so I'm willing to have the hard discussions and take the hard approach of looking at your books and telling you what I think you need to do to make it right and get yourself going. And that's basically what I do to help people.
Last 5 seconds.
And their companies.
Last 5 seconds.
Good. Last 5 seconds.
Okay, so that's essentially what I do to help people. Is I make sure that I take the hard look and make the hard decisions for you, and I advise you on what I think I would do if I were in your shoes, and then you basically make the decisions that I recommend or not. It's your decision, it's your company, but I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do.
All right, excellent job, Greg. How'd that feel for you?
Comfortable. Good. I mean, I try not to delve into things that I'm not comfortable with, and that's, you know, maybe a failing of mine, but I try to.
Definitely not a failing of yours, but I would always delve into wherever the person wants to go. All good. Excellent job. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Awesome. Jordan, 30 seconds, please, for Greg.
Yeah, Greg, I thought you did a great job. I would have started off with a little bit rapport building. I thought it was great how you dived in and you found Rob's pain point and really tried to extract that. And then how you pulled it back to your unique identity. Hey, I cover this. I thought that was great. The other thing I would have done was some of your questions were pretty lengthy. It felt like you were just talking a lot. So maybe you want to cut those down a little bit just to grab Rob's attention and not have him drift off too far. But otherwise, a great job. I'd give it 8.2.
Nice job, Jordan. Siobhan, what'd you have for Greg, please?
Greg, I thought overall you did a great job. It's sometimes more difficult with those technical conversations, like the job that you have that's more technical, to get into that heart-centered focus. But I thought you did great. As Jordan said, pulling out the pain point of Rob's business and where he's going and where he needs help. Great matching back to him when he said he's looking for some, needs accountability, and you matched back to him, that's what you do, accountability. Mimic with Jordan. It's actually something I meant to say to Chris as well, is, getting into those long-winded questions sometimes gets us lost. And so shortening up those questions can be a little bit punchier and can really open up the conversation more. Thought you did a great job overall. I'll give you an 8.5.
Siobhan, awesome feedback. Greg, excellent job, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Neil Keegan.
Ambassador Results kicks it to the mighty Neil.
All right. We ready to roll?
I'm ready, Neil. Who am I?
Rob, just be you.
All right.
You're the Rob Gill.
Oh, what's going on?
How are you?
Good. Happy Y Wednesday. How you doing out there? You're out west, right?
I was in LA, but I'm back now, and I saw you on LinkedIn, and I noticed we've got a couple of great connections in Sean Callaghy and Carolyn Cushman, DeSena. Sorry, the Cushman was her maiden name when I knew her back in my Goldman Sachs days.
That's a dynamic duo right there.
Well, we called her the Crusher back in those days. I understand she's doing some work with you right now.
Yeah, she's been helping out tremendously in this 10 by 10 space in the world of Unblinded, help driving my traffic to stuff that we're actually doing with Sean. You remember Sean? You met him out with at the Tony Robbins event with Crouppen, I think, right?
Absolutely, and that was a neat experience for me. And I know you spent a lot of time in that space, and I'm just I'm learning all about it, and I'm quite candidly fascinated by it. So I wanted to learn more about that from you in the 10 by 10, and also share with you some of the things I'm up to on the business front. And then lastly, I wanted to pick your brain on how you got your financial business up and running, because I'm doing the same thing right now, and I think there might be some overlap for how we can help each other.
So are you starting your own, you have your own RIA opened up already? Is that what it is?
No, it's actually not an RIA. It's a private investment company where we focus on private businesses that need additional capital. And then we can come in and give them advisory work, particularly in the national defense, national security arena, where there's a technology overlay for these game-changing companies. We had one of them today, as a matter of fact, go public, called Palantir. We had a great result, very successful open. And we've got a pretty neat pipeline of other companies like that coming right behind it.
And that's awesome, by the way, Neil. Congratulations on that. Where do you think that there's somewhere I could help or add value or fit, or is there something?
Well, I understand you have a lot of high net worth clients that I'm sure might have an interest in some of our investments. I also work with a lot of high net worth clients and family offices. And I'm more of a sniper shot, where we'll do one great deal at a time. Where my understanding with your business is you've got a very broad platform where you wrap your arms around the clients and you help them really with their whole financial world. So I think we're trafficking in the same area, but do different things. So there might be opportunities where I come across one of our clients who's in a deal and they might need help with insurance, they might need help with financial planning. And I just want to understand how you work with your clients and how you help them, so then I can direct great potential clients your way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you for asking. What we do is we're if we put everything on one landing page and have all the planners speaking to each other for the benefit of the client or the business owner, and making sure the right hand speaks to the left hand, we have technology platforms that do that. So all their decisions they make are based on logic, math, and science, not emotional timidity or a gut level hunch, through monitoring and measuring all their activity and stress testing some of their decisions that they want to make. And it's what you're describing, there is a perfect fit. And, you know, there's other things that I'm sure we could do together in that space. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I love the stress testing. I could probably use some of that myself. Maybe I'll just hand over everything to you, and you can handle it for me. Take off some of that stress for me.
All right, awesome.
I know it's a busy time. Are you taking meetings during COVID, or are you kind of bunkered in?
You know, we're finally getting back into the real world,
Great.
which is great. Yep.
And how's your family doing?
Good. Thank you for asking, Neil. Thank you. We're back to school, but then not, and then we are, and then we're not. You know, but it's all good. You know,
Oh, that's great. Are you going into the office, or you can't? You've got your home office.
No, I've been in the office probably for about 6 weeks now.
Oh, great. Well, I'd love to get out of my home office. I'd love to come by and see you. How's your week look next week? Maybe Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning?
Oh, alternative choice. Very good. First one that did that. I love that. I love the alternative choice. Yeah, let's do Wednesday.
Wednesday, how about 10 o'clock?
I would have said 10, 11, and 12, but yeah, let's do 10 o'clock.
All right. How do you take your coffee?
Neil, that was awesome. Thank you.
I'll bring
Great
you
job,
one.
Neil.
Let me know.
Rock in the house. Awesome job, Neil. Joe Hagan, what do you have for the mighty Neil?
I thought it was awesome just at the end there a little bit, you know, wrapping it up. You could have just done it a little bit quicker, but incredible rapport build in the beginning. I love his tonality, the fact that he was to the point and fun. He got right into Rob's heart because he talked about two really important people in the world, and Carolyn and Sean.
Yep.
You know, really talked about how, you know, he's unique in the world as far as being a sniper versus Rob being, you know, omniscient in the world of financial planning, and how there's a really good preface for a next level meeting. I also love the fact that I'm kind of in that world, and Palantir finally came public. So that's a good thing, and that's a score. But other than just kind of at the end, waiting a little bit in order to get to that formation agreement, I would say everything was great, and it was a 9.
Awesome. Great job. I'm going to call a quick timeout for a split second. And forgive me if I get tight on time with everybody, because we typically want to do like a little additional role play, show something. We're just tight on time. This is an amazingly packed day with all of you fine folks. And so I'm going to keep it real tight to 30 seconds, real tight to 3 minutes. So please forgive me if I'm a little bit abrupt in terms of the cutoffs. Just when I'm doing this and that the clock's up, like time's up, right? So awesome job. Jordan, what do you got, sir?
Neil, I thought you did a great job. I liked the intro. I liked how you dove in, explained exactly what you wanted from him. I think you could have you could have done the rapport a little bit in the beginning, but I thought you did well diving in, telling him what exactly you wanted. I think if you added the language, which wasn't really your fault, but you guys were looking to do an ecosystem merger. And then I also liked the formation agreement at the end, where you got him for the next meeting, because I haven't seen anyone else do that. So you guys made the agreed upon time and you were moving towards that. It was also good how you did the unique identity, your heroic unique identity, and how you spotted some wins about the company going public, what you do exactly. Yeah, I'd give it a 9 as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
excellent job, Jordan. Neil,
Amy.
awesome.
You ready? Amy Nutt.
Amy.
Hold on.
Guys, hold on a second. I'm just going to warn you. I have a 3-year-old on the verge of a temper tantrum. So if
I'll come
somebody
back.
comes in crying, I'm just going to let him cry. So I'm just telling you.
You want me to come back, or you want to go now? You want me to come back, or you
Is
want
there
to
someone that can go ahead of me?
Yes. Joshua, I know a girl
Yeah.
named Millie that acts real silly, lives in the Bronx, but she comes from
I'll
Philly.
come
Let's
after
go.
him. Okay.
Let's go, Josh.
Who's Rob Gill, Josh?
You got to
Let
unmute.
me unmute myself real fast. All right.
Yep.
So, Rob, just be yourself. I'm gonna be me pretty much.
Three minutes.
And by the way, I'm gonna use something that you guys ended up elaborating on earlier. Rob talked about earlier. I did it. I was thinking of using it beforehand, so don't think that I'm copying what we talked about earlier.
All good. Take us
Have
in.
fun.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
Rob Gill speaking. Hey, Joshua, thanks for reaching out to me. on LinkedIn. That was so awesome. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Yeah, Rob, no problem. I'm doing well. How are you?
Actually, no, you reached out to me through Chris Cronin.
Yeah.
I didn't
Let
realize
me
that.
call you. Let me call you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Hey, Rob. Is this Rob?
Rob Gill speaking.
Hey, Rob. How you doing? My name is Josh. I know you don't know me real quick, but I'm a financial professional. I'm messing this up. Okay.
Stay with it.
All right. So I'm a financial professional, and I don't want to take too much of your time. I know that your time is valuable, and it's been crazy times. How's your family doing?
My family's good, but you reached out because you were looking to buy a life insurance to purchase real estate. Is that correct?
Well, actually, Rob, the reason why I'm contacting you is because I've seen your content on YouTube, and I really wanted to connect with you because I love what you're doing. And the way that I first saw you was through Chris Crone. Could you tell me a little bit about how you guys met and how that relationship started?
Well, thank you for your compliment. I appreciate it. Yes, I met Chris through my actually mentor, best friend, coach, this guy by the name of Sean Callaghy. You may have seen me always promote stuff on my page. It's about a company called Unblinded, where through the Tony Robbins ecosystem, I was able, by following this program, to go from 8 to 175 new sales meetings a month. And that process led to Sean introducing me to Chris Crone.
Okay, that's awesome. Just a real quick question. Why is it that you partnered with Chris?
Well, because, Chris Crone has a very powerful relationship with his community, and he wanted to offer more value add to his community. And he started shooting videos about life insurance long before I knew him. And but after I met him, I did call him and I said, "Hey, Chris, who you work with in this space?" And he goes, "Nobody. I used to a long time ago, but I think it's important that my people understand how life insurance can play into the banking concept of buying real estate." So that's how it happened.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I think it's really important to really partner with people and get with people that have the same mindset and have the same values as what we do, because I think that we can go far by ourselves, but taking our vision and making it go for the long run is really difficult by ourselves. So partnering with people that have the same views and want to achieve the same things is really important. And that's really why I'm talking to you today.
Gosh, what do you actually do? I'm sorry.
Last 10 seconds.
What I wanted to do is to see if I could find some time next week just to talk about what it is that I'm doing and see how maybe we could partner together and work together in achieving the same thing. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
Absolutely.
Okay. Does Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week work?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, morning or evening?
In the evening.
All right. Sounds good. I'll be in touch.
Awesome job, Josh. You just made Rob Gill's heart sing. Great job, Josh.
Okay.
Let's drop in with how did it feel for you, Josh, real quick?
It felt okay. I felt like I did, with the experience that I have and being in this environment, I feel like I did okay. It could have been better, but
Yeah, well, excellent stuff. Siobhan, what do you have? Yes, for Josh.
Josh, you're being a little hard on yourself. I thought you did great.
Yeah.
You definitely got right into the heart of Rob and talking about seeing his content on YouTube and how he got connected to Chris Crone and bringing out his connection into relationships. And then, could have been a little stronger in going into your heroic, unique identity, as Rob kind of asked you, what are you doing? What are you bringing into it? And, you started down that line of, I love to partner with people that have the same vision as I do. And you could have got into, here's my vision and here's what I also believe, and pair that with Rob's and how that coordinates with him. Overall, great job. I'd give you an 8.6.
Awesome, Siobhan. Joe Hagan, sir.
Yeah, pretty much echo Siobhan. I thought he did fine. I mean, just, if you stumble, just keep going, right? Don't worry about it. People understand. And at the end of the day, he really got Rob to talk about something that he was, it was important to Rob, right? And he talked about the vision, partnering with people, and he edified him really well. But like Siobhan said, I think he really could have went into why he can be another one of Rob's partners and his heroic, unique identity. And then just kind of, lay it out for him and get to a formation agreement where he could sit down with him at some point and give him choices. But, I'd give him, right around an 8.5 as well.
Nice. Yeah. And Josh, everybody is staying in our body. Stay in our body. Heart to heart, in our body, not head to head. All of it. Awesome job, sir. Rob, who's next?
Anthony Murielli.
Ooh, Anthony. All kinds of emotional
Muriello.
transference.
All right, all right.
What's up, Ant? Who's Rob?
Hello, Sean. So, Rob, you're a Netflix producer, and I'm going to pitch you a show.
Let's go. Let's drop in, Ant. Let's drop in,
All right.
gangster.
Rob, how are you? Anthony Moriello here.
Hey, what's up, Anthony? How are you?
I'm very good, man. Long time. I got a quick question for you, Rob. How do you feel about filing your taxes?
Ugh.
Yeah. And you think you're alone in that feeling? Or do you think like all of America feels this way?
I'm pretty sure everyone feels that way, unless they're going to get a big check.
True. So when you paused, do you think that you paused because all of a sudden you're jumping over these hurdles of, I got to gather my paperwork, I got to wait for things, I got to present it to my accountant. What do you think about it is the biggest hurdle?
Just the time, and I think the time and effort, to do all that, which by the way, at the end, it's never as painful as you think it's going to be, but just the thought of that, like, hey, do I owe money? How much am I going to owe? What kind, all those uncertain storytelling questions of scarcity that I may tell myself.
There's a whole process to it, and there's a vulnerability because now you're exposing last year to somebody else, the finances, what you did maybe right, what you did wrong, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So by the way, Rob, do you have a guy that you use? Do you do it yourself? Like, how do you go about the process?
Yeah, listen, there's always a guy, a family member, my wife's cousin does it. Can I say I'm happy with it? No, I think part of the problem is, if we're going to be real honest, I don't even like my wife's cousin, but I kind of have to do it for the family, right? So maybe that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling.
It could be, man. So on my side of the table, as you know, I'm a tax preparer. I see the world in three classes of people. You've got your do-it-yourselfers, you've got your chain people, your H&R Block, your Jackson Hewitt, and you've got the people who come to the private practice guys, right? I mean, that's a fair assessment, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is, this is such a broad range topic, and it touches almost every single American, that we've got a wide audience to say, Rob, I want to pitch a show to taxpayers, don't you think?
Absolutely. Anyone yes.
No, go ahead, man. I cut you off.
Anyone that has a job, they all have to pay taxes at some point, or at least get a refund. Yes.
Exactly. And knowing it's such a pain point, I think it's somewhat audacious to think, hey, let's put on a reality show centered around filing taxes. Again, don't you think that's like something that nobody would have any interest in watching?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yes, I agree. And
okay.
I've never seen a show like that either. So
right, but what if almost a morbid curiosity brought them to think, who in their right mind would produce a show about the process of filing a tax? It's like watching the grass grow. I think between the morbid curiosity and the wide range audience, I think we could really captivate mostly all of America by what I could represent and present to you. Would you be open to a meeting to convince the world that taxes are not the pain that they have to be?
Yes, I would be. It sounds interesting.
Awesome. Anthony, great job, brother. I love the questions. I love the scotoma right off the bat. And if you want to see emotional and energetic transference occur and moving somebody into their body, when Anthony said, when he asked the question of Rob, I don't even remember the question, about how do you feel about filing a tax return? And Rob like flinched. He's like, yeah. Like he just sat in the listening right there, and it completely shifted the report. Great job, Anthony. So, Rob, you felt that obviously, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. I thought it was awesome.
Jordan, what do you got for Anthony? Countdown 25 seconds.
Yeah, I loved how Anthony did the 5D listening. So after he hit Rob with that question, Rob goes, then Anthony goes, oh, I know. Is this what you're thinking of? And I thought that you did a great job with that. And you kind of brought Rob through the pain, because you're like, dude, taxes are horrible. And then at the end you go, I'm the tax guy. I'm going to make this fun. Like, you brought your unique, heroic identity, and then you transferred it over to, let's pitch this show. I was a little bit confused on the pitch, but I did like where it was going, and I thought it was a really good job, and I give it an 8.7.
Jordan, great feedback, brother. Awesome job. Siobhan.
I agree with Jordan. Anthony, a great job, and I agree with Sean that first thing I wrote down was that great starting question of just, like, how do you feel about taxes? And it's like, ugh, right? And then just one quick follow-up, what I would just say to that is kind of the thing you could have done is, I understand how you feel. I'm feeling that what I'm hearing in that ugh is that, that uncertainty and that pain or that stress of having to file taxes. Is that what that ugh is about? And really get Rob talking about what that ugh really meant to him. Overall, great job. I'd give you a 9.
And Siobhan, what felt like, hit us with that one more time. That was awesome. That's awesome. Great job. Wonderful work from everybody. Anthony, crushing it. Rob, who's up?
Amy, you ready?
Yeah, baby, I'm ready.
Let's go, Amy.
Who am I?
Yeah. So what I want to do is, can my avatar be a client that, a potential client rather, that kind of is frustrated with their insurance because they don't know what their coverages are and their premium was increased and they're just frustrated with the whole experience.
Amy, I'm not potential client.
Amy, you talking about me?
I'm going to be your saving grace, okay, Sean?
I'm busting Rob's chops because Rob.
Get ready because you're going to fasten your seatbelt. You're going to want to go with me after this little spiel, okay?
Rob Gill. No, Rob did amazing, unbelievable, genius thing, and I could not thank him enough. But I tease him, so I want to make sure that's clear publicly.
Oh, sure.
I cannot miss an opportunity to bust Rob's chops.
So Sean, she's in the PNC space, so we're all good. Go ahead, talk to me. Amy, I'm your avatar. Go ahead. Rob Gill.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make it where, Rob, you've reached out to me and I'm now corresponding back to you for the first time, okay?
All right, did somebody refer you to me or am I just calling you blind?
Well, you reached out to me and I through an email or my LinkedIn, and you did get referred to me. And now I'm going to be responding and reaching back out to you. And this is our first time talking on the phone.
Great. Let's go.
Is that okay?
We got 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's go.
Here we go. Okay.
Right.
Hi, Rob. How are you? Good to talk to you. I'm glad we could connect. I'm Amy Neff, and I'm just following up with you on your email that you sent me regarding your current coverages and frustration. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good. I'm so glad to hear. Good. Is this a good time to talk?
Yeah, sure. I got about 3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to go over some things with you. I wanted to kind of let you know that I know insurance can be very tricky, and I'm sure you might be feeling a little bit like.
We can hear Mark talking right now. Go ahead, keep going, Amy.
Okay. I just don't want you to get frustrated at this point because I'm going to come in, I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to give you a peace of mind and I'm going to go over everything with you. Is it okay if maybe I run your policy through multiple carriers and try to get you the most coverage at the most effective competitive premium? Is that something that you're looking for?
Yeah, so you're saying that you're going to run my coverage through you're going to run my stuff through a bunch of carriers to get the best price?
Yes, because I have no affiliation with any carrier. I'm independent. So I'm just going to run your policy through multiple carriers and get you the most appropriate coverage for your home, your auto, whatever you need me to do. And we're going to get the most, competitive price, one that you feel good at.
When you say independent, does that mean the person that's not independent makes extra money on the coverage they sell me?
No, it means that I have no affiliation with any carrier and I can make the call.
That's great.
Yeah, for what I think you need. So I'm basically taking all the stress out of insurance and almost making it easy for you, and where you feel confident in knowing what you have covered, so that if you file a claim, you're going to come to me directly.
Okay.
And you're not going to have to deal with any of the riffraff getting on a phone. I'm going to do everything for you.
So
but I want you to feel,
So if I get into an accident like Sunday at 3 o'clock, you'll pick up the phone?
Correct.
Awesome.
Yep. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years, and I can't say enough about what I've done for my clients. They're not just a client to me, they're family and friends. And I want you to sleep good at night knowing that you're covered fully, but you're not being robbed by a particular carrier. So I would love to run you through the system, your home, and then have a little talk with you about what you think you want, what are you most worried about, and then we can get that covered for you, and you can feel content and happy and knowing that you're set to go. You're not going to have to stress about anything. Is that something that we could do moving forward together?
Yes, Joe, you should put her in your call center. Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
By the way, most importantly, Amy, is it true that if we work with you, then I don't have to work with the riffraff anymore?
Go get that riffraff and put him out in the corner. Let me tell you something. You're not going to have to deal with anybody but me. I'm going to handle everything. I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and I have nothing but reviews.
Mafia alert.
Yes, Amy, you want to do a Real Raw Open starting next week? Here we go.
Yes, let's do it with insurance, baby. Just insurance, not life, but home, auto, excess liability, umbrella.
It's a straight up assassin. A straight up assassin.
Not life, she said.
Not life. Straight up heart-centered assassin.
I'm not doing life. I'll do watercraft.
Amy, you're unreal. Amazing. Straight up amazing. So, Joe Hagan, what do you got for Amy?
I've got Amy Neff. I am on that wall. You want me on that wall? You need me on that wall. Holy shit, that was awesome. You know, maybe a little bit of joke in the beginning, talking about the frustration, but she just killed it with her own unique identity and what she could do for him, and she'd be there no matter what. And I would say that was a 9.5.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
The ability to speak at that speed, is phenomenal, right? Like, and then
I just hope you can understand me, but it is something that is my main talent.
Amy, I am not
going to meet Amy on the field hockey.
Yeah.
9.5 from Colonel Jessup.
Yes, I love that. Jordan, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, Amy, I thought you did a great job with just like Joe just said about the unique identity. I wish you did because you have such a strong unique identity. I wish you drew Rob in more with his pain with the insurance companies.
Yes.
So if you drew that pain and he goes, yes, I hate the insurance companies, they're constantly robbing me, then you go bam, just slam them and just
so more of a hook there. Okay.
Exactly. And then you could and then I like how you said Rob robbed. Rob, that was funny.
I just want you guys to know, like, this is who I am. So I'm not selling anything. I'm just selling myself. So it's kind of like, what are you going to do? Just be you, you know?
Hey, Amy.
Sure.
We are not confused. We are not confused. So amazing job. Rob, are you having fun, Rob Gill?
She is a force of nature. Yes, they make dolls. They should just mimic many dolls of Amy running around.
So can I ask this? Because remember, I don't have my vision, right? But was Amy one of the crew that showed up in LBI that night or no?
No. If she did, it would have been over.
Carolyn, imagine if you threw Amy on top of that crowd.
Oh my God.
Great. Carolyn knows how I operate. I hang out with her. She knows.
Yeah. She knows. Yeah. This is what I heard.
I only bring it back.
Look, that's what I heard just now. Like,
force of nature. Rob, who's next?
Ezra, let's go. So, Ezra, get close to the computer so we can hear you, brother.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
You want Rob to be?
I'm not selling you a Verizon commercial.
Who do you want Rob to be, Ezra?
All right. Rob, actually, this actually took a little bit of time for me to think about what I was going to do and really here. But this is Unblinded, and this is the Real Raw.
Let's go.
Am I allowed to talk to you, Rob, and base what I want to sell you off our current relationship?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, Rob. So is it okay if I use anything that you said here on the show today? At your discretion, obviously. Can I utilize that in what I want to talk to you about? I kind of want to talk to your heart right now, actually.
Ezra, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Rob Gill speaking. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. It's been a while. I'm glad that we connected on LinkedIn a little bit back. And I got my first impression of you, Rob. I just had this on my mind, so I called. When I saw you on Unblinded on the Real Raw, I saw that I just saw a ton of heart, and I see that you're really of that belief that you like to connect to individuals through their heart. And I also heard today on the Real Raw that you had in your past, you had somewhat of a troubled past. And I want to ask you something. I want to ask you, did anyone ever reach out to you when you were a kid? Did anyone ever reach out to you and offer you some help? Did you ever tell anyone about your situation as a child?
Great question. No, I've had, what's interesting along the way, great mentors and leaders came in, but somewhat out of a distance, so I was the youngest of four, so my older siblings kind of tried to play on a parent role. It was my brother was 12 years older, my sister was 10, and my other sister was 8, and it was me.
How old were you at that time? I'm sorry.
How old am I now?
No, at that time, how old were you then?
Well, I mean, it was from, when I think back on the struggle, I'd say it was between 5th grade and when I went to college. Then when I went to college, forget about it. I was just a lunatic
for
a good 4 years.
And I guess did anyone ever pose the idea to you or make you feel comfortable with the fact that you had these issues? Or did anyone?
No, but you know what's interesting? I'll never forget this because my sister, who was 8 years older than me, may she rest in peace, she was addicted to drugs as long as I knew. So when I was 8 years old, she was 16, she went to rehab, and you're young, but that was the day. I remember if you know anything about addiction, the whole family gets affected. And me being the youngest, I always remember I just wanted everyone to be happy. So I would never talk about, what I was feeling, right? And I remember she's in rehab and everybody was great. And then she gets kicked out because somebody mailed her a joint. That was the friends that she had. But what's in my nervous system, and I can still remember it like it was yesterday. I was coming home from school in 5th grade. My mom, everybody was on the porch. And then all of a sudden she gets kicked out and my family was so sad. And this was when Ronald Reagan was shot. It was the same day. That's how I remember that.
Wow.
I'm not sure what year it was, maybe 81 or something, but that's what I remember from that incident. So I remember I would go to rehab to visit my sister with my parents, and my dad would always say, look, don't ever do drugs. Once you do it, you can't not do it. But there wasn't the therapy and there wasn't the things available then like there would be today.
And I'm sure you know now, obviously, with all of your experience and what you've
10 seconds.
And what you've been through in the past, that there are obviously, institutions out there that help you. One thing I wanted to bring up to you today is that my older brother back in 2017 started a organization. I named it after my late grandfather, who was a psychologist and helped individuals with addiction as well as cognitive therapy. He ran a place called it was the Behavioral and Medicine Center.
Yep.
And he actually, what he does is, unfortunately,
we got to close it up, Ezra.
Unfortunately, in the Orthodox community, you find the Orthodox Jewish community, you find that people aren't as open with their problems.
Yep.
My brother actually has an institution where he takes these individuals who have addiction and who have experienced sexual abuse.
Yeah, let me thank you for that. I'll just finish with one thing. I got sober July 1996. My number one priority in life is to help people achieve sobriety through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. So if you ever want to meet offline and talk about it, we can. Go ahead, Sean.
Ezra, beautiful job, brother. And thank you for sharing about the work of your family. Awesome, bro. Yeah, let's drop in. Siobhan, what do you have for Ezra?
Hey, Ezra, that was a great job going right into the connection with Rob, listening to the things that he said and finding those things that you could go into right into his family, connecting to those things that he had, getting to his pain, ultimately to go and get to that, meeting that you want to have with him to talk about how you can, do things in the future to help him, with sobriety and taking that out into the world. So I thought you did a great job on that emotional rapport building and the acknowledgments that you gave him. So I would give you a 9.5.
Yep.
Awesome. Joe Hagan.
Yeah, I would just say that this topic, when you get somebody to open up their heart, it's going to take a while because there's a lot to unload and talk about. So I would just think about time integrity. If you know you got a 3-minute call, as soon as he gave you that opportunity, I would go right into your family and the background as far as your heroic, unique identity and say, listen, I feel you, brother, because I'm here. This is where I come from. Let's sit down and really talk about this because, you press for time. So when you're in that next setting, then you could talk for hours, most likely. Yeah. But just as far as just the compression for time, just get to that a little bit sooner. But I would say great job. Otherwise, got him really to open up and it's a 9.
Nice job, Joe. Rob Gill.
Yeah, and just last thing, Ezra got me to talk about something I haven't talked about in a long time, so I thought that was powerful.
Absolutely.
Last but certainly not least, Dr. Mark Cadden. Who am I, Doc?
You're going to be Dr. Rob Gill, calling me up to find out what my services are, and I'm going to have to explain to you what I do and try to get you to utilize my services.
I am a financial doctor, just so you know.
Yes, I know. A DF.
Let's go, Mark.
So, all right, Mark, you pick up the phone.
Hi. Okay, you call me.
Yeah, say hello.
Hi. This is Dr. Cadden. How are you? Who's this?
Hey, Dr. Cadden, it's Rob Gill. I want to give you a heads up. Brian Johannahoff told me to call you because, you guys are creating something since COVID existed where either attorneys or patients are lining up at the door. That's what I'm hearing.
What type of doctor are you?
Chiropractor, brain, all of them. I'm everything under the sun that you can think of.
How long have you been in practice?
About 15 years.
During the last few months since COVID hit, how has your practice changed?
Drastically. I mean, not obviously we did a lot of telemedicine, but between employees staying home, it's a significant reduction.
Okay, and how did you go about getting your business before COVID hit?
I used to go to a lot of events, did a lot of networking. A lot of attorneys would refer business to me. The traditional form of what existed here in New Jersey.
Okay, so let me explain to you now what I do, because my business had to change also, because I used to set up events. I used to introduce attorneys to doctors and doctors to other doctors. And it was very hard for me to go into the offices. So what we decided to do was go more on internet, and we formulated an 800 number, a call center, that right now we're opening it up to doctors and attorneys, and the average person outside, they go onto the internet, they'll get a directory and they'll get an 800 number. And at this point, what happens is that a patient will look up our name, they'll call us, and we will set them up with you and other doctors in your area. So that's one of the most important things now, because again, I know it's very hard for you at this point to go out and get your own patients. So through our center, we are going to bring the patients to you. We're going to have the patients call you, or my center is going to call you with a patient.
What's the difference between you and anybody else doing this? Does anybody else do this? Do you guarantee patients? Like, what is?
Well,
20 seconds?
20 seconds.
We don't guarantee patients, but through my experience, we're able to sign you, get the patients to call you, or we'll have our staff call you with the new patient. At this point, also, do you have your own website?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, are you getting business through your website?
Once in a while.
Okay, so as I said, we have a way. We have an SEO. It's an optimization. So at this point, what we can do is make sure that your website is on the page 1 or page 2, which is very important for when someone comes into someone looks you up on the internet. And if you're on another page, page 4, it's going to be very, very hard to locate you. Right now, if they write injury, or if they write chiropractic, we have a way to have your name coming up on the first page or the second page. Will make it easier for these patients to find you.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
That's 5 seconds.
5 seconds, Mark.
When would you, again, when are you available?
I'd love to learn more. Can we sit down and talk about it?
Sure. I mean, are you available on Monday at 10 o'clock?
Tuesday at 11.
Rob.
Tuesday 11. That'll be fine. I'll be there.
We're running out of time. Rob, I love Rob Gill. I love Rob Gill. Amazing. Awesome job, brother. I do love you, Rob. Love you, Mark. Awesome job. Let's go with Jordan. What'd you have for the illustrious, incredible, and mighty Dr. Mark Cadden?
Yeah, Dr. Mark, I think you did a great job. I liked how you had the introduction and you were diving into Rob's career, building the emotional rapport with Rob. I think he gave you a couple access points that you could have gone a little deeper on, but then you rallied back to that, which was good. Then I like how you transitioned into the pain and yes. So you're sitting there with Rob and you go, oh yeah, COVID sucks. Like, you're not getting any business. And he's like, yeah. You're speaking to me. And then you drop in your unique heroic identity. You're like, dude, I've been blown out of the water. You got to join. You got to see what I'm doing. And then I would just get the agreement formation a little bit earlier. But otherwise, I thought you did a great job.
Awesome. And Siobhan, taking us home.
All right. So yes, I agree. I thought you did a great job. I will agree with what Jordan said. I saw a few access points where you could have just gone in on Rob's pain a little bit deeper, where he said he's had a significant reduction since COVID and just could have gone some acknowledgement there and really kind of pulled out that pain before you hit into your identity and doing the things that you did. One of the things that I'm a Hamilton fan, so I don't know if anybody else likes Hamilton, and there's some advice that Aaron Burr gives Hamilton when they're emotional rapport building, which is talk less and smile more, right? So we're trying to bring out their pain, to bring it all about them and let them start talking about it. Overall, great job. I would give you a 9.
Siobhan, you're a rock star. Awesome job. Mark, great job. Carolyn, amazing today. Rob, final. I'll make a quick final comment if you don't mind after that. So final, Rob Gill.
Thank everybody for participating. Everybody did a great job. If everyone wants to connect with each other, just let me know. And I want to thank everybody for playing all out. Sean, thank you for the opportunity. I love the Real Raw Open. I love this environment. It's a fun place to really think of ways to significantly grow your business. For all the folks that are on here, we went from 8 to 175 new sales meetings by utilizing this very formula that we just role played in today on a very small level.
Thank you. And we haven't been promoting events or anything on Real Raw Open, but I'm leaning into it. It's the best training on the planet, straight up. Come check it out. Prove me to be a liar. October 24th, we're doing a virtual all day. And that's what we took Rob through and his team. And yeah, we're dropping in. So if that's interesting to you, great. If not, it's the end of the journey. Just remember, influence is a superpower, right? Is a superpower.